Next stop everywhere.
Again, everyone. Welcome to our special Christmas episode of Next Stop Everywhere, the Doctor Who podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Charles Skaggs, back in the TARDIS, ready to celebrate the holidays, even though, well, hey, we don't have a Christmas special to watch. We have to wait until New Year's Day once again. So we decided, well, hey, we're going to do our own Christmas special. And thankfully, I'm joined by my wonderful friend, my wonderful partner in time, and just all-around wonderful person, Jesse Jackson. How you doing, Jesse?
I am great. I am excited to be talking Christmas special. It's always fun, and we have a wonderful, wonderful guest companion.
Yes, so she's been away for a while because obviously she's been busy with her studies and probably slightly thrown off track because of coronavirus, shakes fist. So please, everyone, welcome back to Next Stop Everywhere, Hannah Skorapa. How you doing, Hannah?
I'm doing good, Charles.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you again once for having me. This year's been something. Gotta give it that.
Yes, it has. So as you sit there looking all kinds of adorbs in your Santa hat and your burgundy Tom Baker-ish scarf, I just want to say how grateful we are to have you back, and I hope you managed to get through the semester okay.
Right, I'd say it went pretty well, all things considering with the current climate, but I'm just happy that that's another one in the books, so.
That's good.
Very nice.
So hopefully everything went okay as far as grades and everything, so that's good. Excellent. That's what we like to hear. All right. So here at episode 212, we're going to be doing another one of our revisited commentary episodes. This is something that Hannah was here for the first time when we did the pilot, where we just kind of sat, we talked a little bit about the episode, then we watched it all together and did our little DVD-style commentaries. So what better person to have back for our second one than, hey, Hannah, right? Yay. And this time we're going to be talking The Husbands of River Song, which is a very fun Christmas special. It's probably my favorite of the Capaldi Christmas specials. I don't know about you guys. What do you think? Is this your favorite Capaldi Christmas special? I'm putting you on the spot, but I know.
No, I don't know. I really like the one with the, everyone, the Dream Beast and everything.
The Last Christmas? Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Though this is a great River Song episode. So
yes,
I am very excited about that.
Yeah. And how about you, Hannah?
It's kind of hard for me to choose in terms of what my favorite is. I feel like the one I've rewatched the most is Twice Upon a Time, the Regeneration episode.
That's a good one, too. Yep.
In terms of fluffy entertainment value with not as heavy subject matter, it's a kind of a tie between this one for me and The Return of Dr. Mysterio, which I am aware is a not very popular opinion to have.
That's okay. You don't have to go along with the crowd. You can be an individual. It's allowed.
Yeah, I mean,
if you like it, you like it. That's nothing wrong.
Yeah, I like
we
that
certainly don't want to
a
discourage
lot.
anybody from liking anything Doctor Who.
I like it.
Oh, sorry, Jesse. I didn't mean to keep interrupting you.
No, I'm just going to agree with you. I like it too. I think it's fun to see a Doctor Who superhero episode.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I think Stephen Moffat got Superman a bit better back then than some current film producers in Hollywood.
You wouldn't be referring to a certain Zack Snyder, would you?
Yes.
Snyder. Oh, yeah, exactly. Like that? Kind of like that? Yeah. Boy, that Snyder virus seems to be spreading. It's,
Yes.
I don't know. Hopefully there's an immunization for that or a vaccine.
It's developed by the Christopher Reeve Corporation.
Nice. Points.
Very nice.
Points to Hannah on that one. Very nice. Very nice. Well played. Well played. Especially to us old guys over here. So we originally talked the Husbands of River Song way back in episode 49 of Next Stop Everywhere. So we're talking December 2015. We originally discussed the story as a review. So it's been 5 years. Seems like a good time. Hey, it's Christmas again, and what better time to talk about it once again? So looking on at the episode once again, 5 years on, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to doing another commentary with you guys, because you guys, both of you were so wonderful when we did the pilot, and I think this one will be even better. I have a feeling. So this episode, written by Stephen Moffat, of course, directed by Douglas McKinnon, was the 2015 Christmas special, starring, of course, Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor. No specific companion because he had just parted ways with a certain Clara Oswald and is kind of moping around and decided that he just happened to come across his wife that he sees every so often, River Song. And of course, so that means we have Alex Kingston returning as River Song. We get the debut of Matt Lucas as Nardole, who I get the impression from this story was only intended to be a one-off character, but eventually, of course, gets brought back in The Return of Dr. Mysterio, the next Christmas special. And Hannah's raising her hand eagerly. Yes, Hannah?
Does this technically make him like the Donna Noble of the Moffat era, where you start out with like a stunt casting of a comedian? In the first performance, they're not all that loved, but by the season where they do show up, everybody's gushing over them.
I think that's a great observation.
I think that is a great
I never made,
comparison.
honestly, I never made that connection, but I think you're absolutely right. Because Catherine Tate, obviously, like Hannah said, it came from a comedic background, a little bit of stunt casting to have her on for the Christmas special, in the Runaway Bride, way back in the David Tennant era. I think you're onto something. So, and I'm guessing that Stephen Moffat really liked Matt Lucas in this episode, so much so that he thought, well, hey, we should just make Nardole a companion, and had to go through all the trouble in The Return of Dr. Mysterio of giving Nardole a whole new body because, well, he kind of gets decapitated in this one, even though his head's still alive. But go figure. We also get Greg Davies as King Hydroflax, who also comes from a British comedy background. He's a bit of a stand-up comedian over there. He's probably known to American audiences if you've ever seen the movie Teen Titans Go to the Movies, where he played the Balloon Man. I have not seen that one. Skews a little young for me, but if you have seen it, that's who he played in that one.
Not aware of that.
Yes. It's probably on HBO Max, so you probably could check it out, I'm guessing. Philip Reese plays Ramon, the other husband that River is apparently being a bit of a polygamist on the side. And he was in the series Night Flyers, which was based off of George R.R. Martin's short story, or a short novel, I'd say a novella, I guess. He's also been on episodes of CSI, Warehouse 13, Bones, and 24. And we had Rowan Polanski, not Roman Polanski, Rowan Polanski as Fleming, the maitre d' at the restaurant in this episode. He had appeared previously in Good Omens, so I thought that was kind of neat. He was a waiter in that one, and he was also in the movies Kingsman: The Secret Service and the 2018 version of Tomb Raider with Alicia Vikander, if I recall correctly. And lastly, we had Robert Curtis as Scratch. That's the kind of slit-face guy that separates half of his head. He was actually in a Sarah Jane Adventure story, Prisoner of the Jadoon, where he played a security guard. So before we get started, anybody got any general thoughts about watching this episode again? I know maybe, Jesse, for you, it might have been some time since you watched this one, or is this one that you watch every year?
No, I don't watch this one every year. I just want to share, it's cold down on the beach, Charles. The wind's whipping down the boardwalk. Hey,
This isn't a
companions,
Springsteen
you know
thing,
what time
is it?
it is? What time? What? It's Christmas special time. I love talking the Christmas specials. I am still bitter that we are not getting a special on Christmas Day. This is 2 years in a row. I don't understand why they do this to us. I don't want it on New Year's Eve. I don't want it on New Year's Day. I want it on Christmas Day. Darn it.
All right.
End of rant.
Interbrand.
End of
Okay.
rant.
Okay, Hannah, how about you? What are your general thoughts about seeing this again?
It's one I find myself rewatching a bit more often these days, given, the state of the world and all. It's a nice, it does have that emotional punch in the end, but it's one of those stories that's a bit self-aware of just how kind of absurd the situation is with the screwball comedy going on. I will say, Jesse, I will agree with you about the New Year's special being no longer a Christmas special because, I'm not entirely sure I fully get the move. Sure, not everybody celebrates Christmas.
Right.
From what I've heard, statistically speaking, more people in the UK watch TV on Christmas. So,
So it's more of a higher profile night to watch, to get a better audience is what you're saying.
Yeah. It is kind of a bit of a double-edged sword, too, because I was kind of not really fond of regenerations happening on Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's just, wait, come back. I'm stuck live now. Go back to Christmas, please.
Well, a few weeks ago, we had singer-songwriter Alice Ashcroft on the show, and we did an interview with her, and she talked about that Doctor Who meant Christmas to her, and she said that, you got up, you had too much chocolate, opened your presents, went to church, had a big meal, ate too much, watched the Queen's speech, and then at the end of the night, you had your turkey sandwiches and watched Doctor Who. She goes, that was Christmas growing up. And to not have it on Christmas Day feels like there's not stockings or something. It is, it is totally about Christmas with her. And I think there is a lot of people in the UK that feel that same way. So, but I'm sure they know what they're doing. And I am thrilled that we are getting a new episode, though I'm a little bitter, Charles, because I've been saying, because 2020 was such a lousy year that if I could get a new Springsteen album in October, a new president in November, and a new Doctor Who episode in December, the year wouldn't suck. And we are not getting a new episode in December. We're having to wait till January. Only by one day, but still.
2 out of 3 ain't bad,
Yeah, exactly. I guess so. But I was really hoping for that.
And it only misses 2020 by one day.
Yeah, I'm just saying, technically, So, yes, but instead, we get to talk with Hannah, a really fun Christmas special, so thanks for arranging this.
Well,
something I will say is it seems like the marketing team in these last couple weeks is really amping up their promotion for the upcoming New Year's special, because the other day I was doing the resolution watch along, and at the very end of that they released an advertisement for the defense drones.
Yes, I saw that.
They also dropped today that they're gonna, over in the UK, if you have iPlayer, they're gonna have it as an option to watch it in 4K high definition.
So get ready for those 4K Doctor Who releases eventually, presumably, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see. So I'm just hoping that we get a explanation of why the British public does not remember the Daleks, when the Daleks were working in, say, Victory of the Daleks for for Churchill during World War II.
When in doubt, blame the crack. That's what I've learned.
Or, when the Daleks attacked London and, during the whole Stolen Earth thing. You would think maybe somebody would remember that, but maybe it's a whole crack in time thing that, time can be rewritten. And, maybe everybody, it just all fell through the the time vortex and just got lost in time somehow. So hopefully we get some kind of explanation.
Well, and I assume it is similar to like back in once again, a timely reference with the A-Team, no one ever died. They've established multiple times in Doctor Who that people never remember, right? Like, because they'll ask, hey, why isn't everyone like, oh, just people tend to move on. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. It's called changing showrunners, guys.
Yeah.
Another one I just came up with.
Yeah.
Captain Jack is slipping retcon in the water supply.
Oh, that's it.
Go.
There you go. That's perfect, right?
There you go. That's it. That's the answer.
Yeah, he just slipped it in, and happened to distribute that throughout the entire world, apparently, somehow.
Yes.
And somehow even got rid of all the, computer records and newspapers and everything about the Daleks invading the first time, right?
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah. That's it.
It's amazing. That retcon stuff's pretty good, right? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
so
the receiving end of it, I guess.
Yeah. Anybody want to talk trivia, or should we just go ahead and start watching the episode, and then we'll talk trivia as we watch it?
I think I would vote that we would, as you find appropriate trivia, you should speak up, Charles.
Okay. Well, I don't have to be the only one. If anybody else has got trivia, feel free to speak up. Okay.
I know you've done the research though. And I always appreciate that.
I'm proud of. I'll mention it when we get there.
Okay. Good. All right. Please do. All right. So for everybody playing the home game, if you want to watch along with this, and we certainly encourage you to do so, make sure you have your whatever device that you're watching Husbands of River Song on, if it's a Blu-ray player or your iPad or what have you. I know that Jesse and I are both watching via HBO Max. I've got mine downloaded. Jesse's streaming it, and Hannah, I forget how were you watching it?
I am watching this via iTunes.
iTunes, excellent. All right, so there you go. So plenty of options. And let me get my secondary headphones in so I can follow along what's going on. There we go. All right. So if everybody's ready, has everything queued up on their main menus, what have you, ready to go.
I have my mouse over the play button.
There you go.
I am ready.
All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to count it down 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to press play together at the same time. Okay? So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Doink. It's the asterisk of doom.
Oh, mine didn't have the asterisk of doom.
Okay.
It just into it.
Okay. I got the asterisk of doom. It's Christmas Day.
53:43.
We didn't miss it.
Carol singers will be criticized.
Or just be glad it wasn't the Daleks, because they would have been exterminated.
Yep. Oh, and here is Nardole.
I love the way Capaldi always says Nardole. Nardole. He really draws it out. A little knock on the door.
I never understand people that wear that hat and they cover just the edge of the ears. It's like if you're going to have the hat, you should cover your full ears.
Well, maybe it's just the top of his head that gets a little chilly.
Maybe so. I do like the antlers.
Yeah.
I will say, in this moment, Wilfred Mott felt a disturbance in the force.
Yeah, what do you want to bet those are the Doctor probably stole those from Wilf.
Yeah.
Even though they're holograms, right?
Yeah.
So why do you think the Doctor is so against singing since he's so musical?
Well, he likes to play the guitar. He doesn't sing.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe fair enough.
He's an instrumentalist.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
This area of town that they were just walking through looks very Diagon Alley-esque.
Yes.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking it kind of looked a little bit like that Face the Raven village.
Oh, Trap Street.
Yeah. Looks like it was
Well,
just like it was redecorated for this one.
gotta save money in Wales.
It's like, well, we got Trap Street right, laying around. Why don't we just throw some snow on that?
Yeah.
So the doctor he's impersonating a surgeon who has been requested by someone who obviously we all know and love.
You know, her hair in this episode is closer to the color that it is when we first meet her, or last meet her, depending on your perspective.
Right.
In the library.
Yeah, in Silence of the Library. Well, I'm sure that was intentional because they have to kind of, bring her closer to that.
Mm-hmm. I do love the fact that he's all happy and she's like, I don't know who you are. She's in. And do you guys? What's your theory of why she didn't recognize him?
Well, go ahead. You can go ahead. Go.
My theory is because, from her perspective, she still thinks the Time Lords are gone, so therefore the Doctor can't get a refill.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She has her. She eventually throws out her wallet. Ooh, Christmas credits.
Yes.
With snow.
Minutes.
So
And the snowy TARDIS, I love.
So yeah, she was like, she whips out her wallet, and you get all these pictures of the 11 doctors,
Mm-hmm.
including the War Doctor. So really 12.
Yeah.
And so as far as she's concerned, he can't regenerate again. So she knows all the faces,
Okay.
or thinks she does, because this is essentially his bonus doctor.
Okay. I like that.
Here is the king that's just ahead, Hydroflax.
And I'm sure it's partially her ego in play that, she couldn't possibly, be wrong here about this. Because she can be often as arrogant as the Doctor can in a lot of ways.
Very much so.
I think that this is probably the most husbandly we see the Doctor in his relationship with River, because you see him getting protective and jealous at times.
Right. Yeah, you notice he never mentions River until he's actually with her. And then it's all like, wait, you've got another husband? And another husband?
Yeah.
Dr. Hun, you're one to talk.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's actually one of the things I was going to bring up with trivia was that they have this little argument about their marriages. And River, talks about like the doctors, which of course, we had Elizabeth I, who obviously we saw get the wedding of that in the Day of the Doctor. Marilyn Monroe, who we found out about in the Christmas Carol, and Cleopatra, who was mentioned in the Wedding of River song.
Yeah.
Although River impersonated Cleopatra at one point, if I recall correctly. So does that count as the same one?
I wonder if that is the wedding, yes. I do love his line, I have cross arms. Yeah, he is really irritated that she is talking about the only husband she's ever had, and he's does not like this idea.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
I don't know if Stephen Moffat meant anything by it at the time, but she mentions a second wife.
This is true. Ooh. This is true. No, I could very easily see River being bisexual.
Yes.
Well,
and especially, what if the Doctor regenerated into a woman?
Yes. Yeah.
Which obviously happened. So one of the things I thought was interesting was that as far as River, her previous husbands, apparently she had married at one point Stephen Fry, who obviously later turns up as C in Spyfall.
Oh, okay. Good.
I just love how they're live streaming this whole situation to the poor people.
Yeah, obviously this is not what the doctor was expecting when he just decided to go along with the impersonating the surgeon.
Right. Well, he's thinking surgeon, doctor, right? They need the doctor. They just got the name wrong.
I do like how this episode, because she doesn't really know that it's him at this point, is basically we see what she gets up to when the doctor isn't around.
Yeah, and it's not really a good look, is it, for her? Because, she's got, hooking up with guys on the side. She's, trying to steal this diamond from this guy's head.
I mean, well, he is a tyrant, to be fair.
Right, to be fair, but...
And I love the fact he says, I'm the doctor. And she goes, you better be. Right? Like, she doesn't connect at all.
No. And he has fun with that. He kind of, I think, after a while, after the initial shock wears off, I think he kind of enjoys her not knowing.
Yeah.
And has a little fun with it.
Yes, he does.
Now, is it just me, or do either of you, how do you feel? Who do you think has the better interaction? Matt Smith's Doctor, the 11th Doctor, or Capaldi's 12th Doctor with River?
I asked that right after this episode, is that in Silence of the Library, when she's talking about her doctor, is she talking about Matt Smith or she's talking about Peter Capaldi? Because before this episode, I would have said it's Matt Smith.
Right.
But now then with the idea, and spoilers, they spend the night together, which is
24 years. 24 years.
24 years, is Capaldi her doctor because of the way they spent the time together. And I mean, there's no right answer. I just wonder about that.
Well, the right answer is probably all of them are her doctor.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's a good point. But just the way she was, yelling at the 10th Doctor, like, my doctor does this and my doctor does that. I do also, one of the things, we have a local Dallas fan did not like Capaldi at all. She was not happy with him at all till this episode. And after seeing him interact with Rivers, she goes, okay, I get it now and I love him. Which I thought was interesting, how one episode could change you that much.
We kind of get to see a different side of the 12th Doctor in this episode.
I agree.
Yeah, I think this is kind of an episode that marks a bit of a tonal shift in the direction of where the era is going, because if you're thinking about the previous two series before this, you had him pondering his morality, stuff with the hybrid.
Right.
I think this definitely is kind of the point in his character arc where he's a bit more sure of himself, and you get more lighter stories like the ones with Bill and the last series, barring the finale, where she, in my view, wrongly gets converted into a Cyberman.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't. Moffat didn't include the headless monks in this scene.
Yeah, I do love that.
You got warrior monks. Why not use the headless monks, right?
I love the. Now I know why we don't share a bathroom. Yeah. So yeah.
So I do wonder what she was thinking was under the robot body.
Yeah, and so if from my perspective, Charles, going back
Look,
to
she's got a
what
trowel.
she's doing,
Sonic trowel.
She's out there doing good as well. I mean, the reason why she's involved with this is to get that stone back to the people. So, yes, and the Sonic trowel is pretty cool.
I was going to say that the Sonic trowel is actually a big Finnish invention.
Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was for their Bernice Summerfield series, which is also set in the Doctor Who universe.
Yeah, the adventures of Professor Bernice Summerfield. Yeah.
I literally read that in a book the other day, and my mind exploded. So it's also a nice callback to River's grandpa, Brian Williams.
Yes.
Well, carried a trowel.
Right.
I'm still kind of bummed we haven't seen Bernice on TV.
Yeah.
We've only heard her in audio, or we've read about her in novels.
Did not put me in the bag.
I think sometimes with like a tyrannical monarch, the worst thing than death for them is having their dignity taken away.
Try to follow me and I'll put him in a blender.
Well, I have a couple of friends whose theory is that's why certain people in this administration don't wear a mask, is because they think it makes them look weak. So yes, you can absolutely get this, where the dictator doesn't want to be in the bag. So.
And 12 is just laughing right now, which is very unnerving to see him laugh like that.
Yeah, and Hydroflax. Who dare laugh? Get me out of this bag.
We're being threatened by bag. By head in the bag.
Yes.
If only we had gotten this version of the 12th Doctor in Series 8. I think his run would have been a little bit more highly regarded.
Yeah.
Or either that, or I think another series with him traveling around with Bill.
Yeah, exactly. I think we all would have liked to have had that.
Absolutely.
It's like, wait, who's this guy?
River's gotten herself a bay.
Doesn't it get dull after a while?
Mm-hmm.
It's a great line.
It is.
You gonna kill him too? That's a good line.
Yeah.
Oh no, I feel bad for Ramon because he doesn't even remember his wedding to this woman.
Right. She wiped his memory, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I wonder how.
Oh, there's War Doctor, 9, 10, 11. Oh wait, where's my photo?
I love how her code name for him is Damsel.
Yeah, see how dismissive she is. She's just like, he has limits.
Yes.
If he was smart, he would be recording this whole thing and playing it back to her as revenge.
Yes.
I suppose that's how you win an argument when you and your spouse are time travelers.
Absolutely.
Remember that time when you didn't know that I existed?
Much as I don't really love Nardole on this special, I do think it is funny, the juxtaposition of his head on like this
giant robot body.
Yes. Yeah, I never agreed.
Yeah, obviously I don't think Moffat really figured out Nardole until the return of Dr. Mysterio.
Yeah.
Or maybe even the pilot.
Yeah, and I think he was good that season, right? I think he
Yeah.
was very good in that and was a worthy companion.
I love the team of Bill and Nardole in the 12th
I
Doctor.
agree.
I thought there was like Hannah said, I thought it would have been. I wish we would have gotten another season of that.
Yeah.
We were robbed of Bill. I'm
Yeah.
still mad about that. Bill was robbed of Bill.
Yeah. Yeah. We are going to steal this
A
box.
a box. Yeah, that.
I need like a montage of River reacting to all the various interiors.
Yeah.
Considering we don't know at what point in the Doctor's timeline she would nick the various TARDISes. So for all we know, she could have been in the 60s one.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's like, wait a minute, you've stolen my TARDIS and, and used
I
it
love
before?
that, right? Yeah, maybe he'll notice now.
He's the head doctor.
Yes.
Ah.
I was in
Now it's my turn.
I was an OL at my college, and I met a freshman who was a Doctor Who fan, and he
Finally.
could quote the scene by heart.
Yes. It's my go. And I love this. I love this scene. Oh, my God.
Look how he plays it. Just
Yes.
overacts.
This is exactly what the response the Doctor wants to hear. Entire understanding of physical space has been transformed. I have Forever.
forgotten how much fun he has this.
That's great.
So I always wanted to
Sorry,
see
I
that
was.
done.
Yeah. Here we have the TARDIS bar.
Yeah.
Now remember that brandy turns up in Twice Upon a Time, and the first Doctor is like, wait, it's been somebody drank this.
And I love that. Don't tell Dad that they're sneaking alcohol.
You're doing it wrong.
Way to be a backseat driver, Doctor.
Yep. Well, to be fair, she was the one always telling him that he left the brakes on.
Yeah.
This is what married couples do,
Better avoid deck 7.
So it can't take off because the Hydroflax's head is separated from his body.
Probably a security measure to prevent paradoxes, I'd imagine.
Presumably. But I thought, if his body's a robot, unless there's actual organs in there somewhere, how does that work?
And I love that you're very quick for a doctor. And then she's like, yes. And he just, seriously? Like, how many more hints do I have to drop?
Yeah, I have to say, River's a little thick in this one.
Yes.
You think she would have picked up on this.
Yeah.
But it does make for a great reveal when he finally does the "Hello, sweetie" line, which will obviously come up. Is obviously coming out.
Yeah. And Ramon, just a pretty face.
Yeah. Pretty boy.
Yes.
As River might call him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I'm Pretty Boy. Oh, wait, that's a different doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a rewatch of the Library two-parter a couple weeks ago in preparation for this, and I was like, oh, so that's where the podcast name comes from.
Yep. There you go.
Absolutely.
The Doctor in the TARDIS. Next stop everywhere.
Absolutely.
That's it.
And his head down, like facing.
So now even the body's talking at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Nardole is a bit whiny in this episode.
Yes, he is. I love that. Where did you go to medical school? A really good one for doctors.
Well, Ramon's not quite how you remember him.
No.
I do think it is one of those glorious little cheesy bits. I have a message to tell you. You're gonna die! So that dramatic reveal.
Mm-hmm.
You could have mentioned that you had a robot body now.
Yes.
Well, that thing was pointing a gun at Nardole's head. I'd imagine it could do the same for him.
Probably.
Exactly.
It just occurs to me, though, what does it do with the bodies after it decapitates people?
That's a good question. Probably just they're in a dumpster somewhere.
Yeah.
Here's my question. Why doesn't the doctor just, trigger an EMP or something and short circuit that robot body?
Well, maybe the TARDIS doesn't like a thing that has a compressed black hole in it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's probably it. That's a good point. I'll give you that one. That makes sense to me.
I do love the I'm not a hushy person.
They should be playing like the cantina music from Star Wars, don't you think, in this scene?
Yes, absolutely.
This feels very Bond-esque with like a luxury cruise liner with all sorts of shady people hanging out.
Welcome to the Starship Titanic.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's a different Christmas special. Here's Fleming.
How are the twins? Still digesting their mother.
That's a great line. I love that.
Yeah.
I really need to download those Diary of River Song Big Finish audios. Every time I see River, I'm just like, I need to hear more.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not from that series, but I listened to the 10th Doctor and River Song box set that came out this year.
Oh, how was that? I haven't listened to that yet.
It was a lot of fun. So Peter Davison has like a brief cameo in it, and I was listening to the behind the scenes content at the very end of that, and Alex mentioned that while they were recording, at one point there was a long gap from when he was speaking.
Yeah.
And he nodded off in his little cupboard recording space.
That's funny. That's very funny.
I need that dress in a can. Where can I buy that?
I'm sure there are a lot of women that would pay handsomely for that perfume. Yeah. I know my wife would.
Just love how she casually takes a cocktail right there.
Yes. Perfect timing, right? This is where genocide gets to kick back and relax. Do try
This
to
is
fish.
it is a scary, staff and
Right.
passenger list, right?
Well, I think that, kind of like with Captain Jack, River travels in, shall we say, more darker circles than the
Yes, she
Doctor
does.
does.
Yeah.
She knows more unsavory characters, I think.
Yes.
She's a little, rougher around the edges.
I mean, she was born and bred to be an assassin, so...
Yes, this is true. This is true. She does have a history. Oh, there's the diary.
Yes.
All I can think of, though,
And
is
this is
she must have, very small handwriting for that to last how long as it has.
Right? Hundreds of years. Well,
And-
did she say she was like 200 in this
yes.
episode?
And she's talking about a man will believe any lie you tell him,
Yeah.
and it's the easiest thing. And he's kind of,
she's a
it's
bit
a
of a
little hurt.
she's a bit of a sexist.
But he's a little he has a little bit of doubt, well, have I been played?
Yeah.
Right, in the past, and because I'm seeing how she acts not around me,
Right.
and she says the diary's almost full.
Oh, I don't think that's quite a fair assumption on her part, because he just got, I bet he just got that he was looking for the diary that looked like the one he saw in the library. I don't think he equated page numbers with her lifespan.
Exactly.
He makes this comment, he, meaning the Doctor, must be awful, and she's like, I suppose he is. I never really thought about it.
And then nobody special, but useful every once in a while. And, he's really hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And understandably so. I think, I think she's being a bit cruel here. And this is, like I said, the Doctor's seeing a different side of her.
Well, and see, my theory is she's not going to show her true feelings to a stranger. It's like that scene in Notting Hill.
So you think this is just the mask?
This is just the mask she's showing, because later when she goes on a rant about the Doctor, that's her true feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because that scene in Notting Hill where Hugh Grant hears her and she's talking to Julia Roberts is talking to another actor, and she says something that's not very flattering about him, and later she says that's the biggest gossip in the world. Of course, I'm not going to tell him my true feelings. So that's how I read this as.
Oh boy.
Show me the money. Creepy.
I remember hearing
I have a splitting headache right now.
Yes.
I remember hearing people speculate that they thought that because the Harmony Shoal folks popped up in this episode and in the Return of Dr. Mysterio, with that cliffhanger of that one unit guy being taken over by them, they thought that they were going to be referring to be big bad in Series 10.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it was never addressed again.
River's just like, I'm going to wipe this off.
Ugh.
Got any hand sanitizer?
Yeah.
Now here's Moffat doing that same gag that he did in Deep Breath, Capaldi's first episode. Did you notice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where that entire restaurant turns around and looks at them.
Yeah, and they're all
in on it.
I think they're eating at the same restaurant set. They've just switched the tables around.
Right. Where's Half-Faced Man?
Well, there is a half-faced man in this scene.
This is
yeah.
Several, actually.
Oh boy, you may need to use a spoon. Ugh.
This is my spoon.
Mm-hmm.
Missed opportunity for a spoon joke there, as far as I'm concerned.
Awkward.
Yeah, she's like, I'm just gonna zip this right back up. Zip, zip, zip.
Oh no. Hydroflax.
Yep. Zip. That awkward moment when you realize that you've got the head of their cult leader.
Mm-hmm. Alex Kingston is so good in this.
They're both good in this.
Yes, they are.
Capaldi is just magic in this as well.
Yes.
But yeah, I think I like Capaldi's Doctor better with River than I do Matt Smith. Don't get me wrong. I really liked Matt with River, but Matt and Alex together. But I think just, I just love the chemistry here because it's much more, it's more mature because of Capaldi being more mature.
And I agree with you, Charles. And right, this isn't sliding, Matt Smith and
No,
and
not at
River.
all.
But I agree with you. There is something about his bearing and the maturity that he has that just they have such great chemistry. They are wonderful together, and I just think this is great.
If Peter Capaldi ever comes back for a big multi-doctor story for an anniversary or whatnot,
Here's
they
hoping.
could just scoop him and River up from their 24 years just for this story, and I wouldn't complain.
Nope.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
That's a great place to pick him up. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
And if they ever, Big Finish wanted to do something with them, that would be cool too.
Well, Alex is already doing River Song audios, and
Right.
she's appeared in various little Doctor Who crossovers here and there, little cameos.
Yeah.
But Capaldi obviously still has a very busy career going right now.
Yes, absolutely.
So we live in hope that we'll get him as well. I mean, if Big Finish could get Christopher Eccleston, I don't think anything's off the table at this point.
I was going to say the same thing, Charles.
They got Tom Baker and they got Christopher Eccleston.
I did hear that Peter Capaldi this year actually popped up in a fan audio for Charity.
Ooh.
As the Doctor, so
hopefully you got a taste for it.
Never. Oh, gotta love the auction.
Yes.
200,000 over there. 250 billion. Oh.
Now I like how River just like pointed at one guy, and other guy's just like, "What? What? I didn't do anything."
And then people actually start the bidding.
Yep.
She beckons for that one person to call her.
Has the food disappointed you? And here we have the Mad Camp romp.
Yeah. You will be whole again.
I ain't got nobody, and nobody's got me. Yakadada, yakadada.
This robot body is having an identity crisis.
So,
and he's like this awkwardness of
death in 7 minutes. It's kind of like that bad guy in The World Is Not Enough, where they had kind of like a bullet moving slowly in his brain.
Yeah.
If you saw that James Bond movie.
No, I don't need a new head.
Poof.
I love how that diamond comes out all perfect.
It's Folger's crystals.
Yes.
Your remaining majesty. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great line. What's left of you?
Now available for $19.99 per box set from Big Finish.
There you go. Nice.
See, she's...
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I still want that Picnic at Asgard story.
Mhm.
Don't you?
Yeah.
It does exist in book form in that River Song book back there.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Yes.
I'll have to.
I'll have to check that out now. What about Jim the Fish? Is that in there too?
I have not read it entirely, so I could not tell you.
Okay, all right. Well, at least Asgard's in there. All right, good to know. Thanks, Hannah.
Yeah.
You're irrelevant. This is probably my favorite scene in the entire episode.
Yes, exactly.
The reveal. I mean, I love the end, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just love the look on her face when she finally, like, the light bulb goes off and it's ding. Bless you. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Oh. It's a bit whiffy down there.
Mm-hmm.
At least Ramon isn't complaining.
Right. You notice he seems pretty okay with it. Or just maybe he's not a complainer.
So you don't suppose there are marriage counselors on Beryllium? Because I think River has some issues.
Yeah, well, at least they had 24 years to work them out, right? See, this is cold right here. She's just like, I love him, but he never loved me back. And he's thinking, really? I'm right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right here.
See, that's why I'm saying she was putting on
A front?
persona that she is. Her relationship with the Doctor is something she wouldn't share with someone that she just had known, and now then she's just going at.
But here she's angry. She's in the. I don't think she's lying here. And then when she's angry,
River.
she's like, God knows where he is, but I'm promising he's doing whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
And not giving a damn about me.
I know timelines and all, but he did leave her in prison.
Well, to be
like
fair, she
loving
could
the
get out
stars
anytime she
themselves.
wanted.
You don't expect a sunsight to love you back. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh. And there he is.
The penny drops. The light bulb.
Ding!
Bing! Hello, sweetie. Oh!
And is that just not perfect? It's just so perfect. And she's wants
You are
to
so
cry,
doing those
and
roots.
she's also mad, and then she's... Yeah, you're doing those roots, yes.
Mommy and Daddy are talking right now.
Yes.
Their chemistry is electric. Here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That meteor strike.
I've only seen the face.
Yep. I dug you up.
A thing happened, right?
Yes.
Good, aren't I? Gosh. She just embraces this character. I mean, if you had watched her on ER,
right,
there's no way you'd go like, what? But she is just...
well, I mean, it's such a fun character to play. I mean, she could be psychopathic one minute, and then she could be comedic the next, and And catching diamonds in her halter top the next.
Like, you think about the scene, right when she's talking to the doctor in the Angels Take the last.
The Angels Take Manhattan?
Yeah, where she doesn't want to show that her arm was hurt.
Right.
Because you don't want to show this god, that you're mortal.
Yeah.
And it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, I think we find out, it was mentioned that she had just come, the previous story was the Angels Take Manhattan, the one previous to this in River's timeline.
Yeah.
So it must go like Angels Take Manhattan, this one, and then Science and Library, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think this scene right here just shows how skeezy the people River was dealing with, because
right.
They promised her all that money, and yet King Hydroflax here is dealing with all the bank security and the firewalls.
Yeah. I do love that, right? He had a bad day in the market. Yes.
Talk about a market crash.
Yes.
I'll just take this.
And there's their discussion, right? Like, look, you have not been...
I think Jesse must have skipped ahead on us.
Yeah, he just entered the bridge from where I'm at.
Oh, okay.
Yep. You traveled through the time vortex about a couple seconds ahead of us.
So I've been behind because to turn on your captions, it stops. So when I originally was doing that, yes.
That's beryllium. Oh, that. And he knows. That look just, tells that he knows what that means.
Reference to DVD extras.
Yep, exactly. That little mini episode, right? Last night. Because I'm the doctor, I know how to do this. Expletive deleted. They're debating about who gets to crash the spaceship.
Yeah.
Put it on a Valentine. Not one living person on this spaceship is worth you.
Yeah. And they both say that it is lovely.
Have a nice day. No.
Exploding TARDIS, wee!
And all of a sudden, Jodie Whittaker gets up.
Yes.
Things get really awkward.
Alex has said she would love to do a scene, right, an episode with Jodie Whittaker.
Here's hoping.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Chibnall needs to jump on that, like, now, as far as I'm concerned.
Chris Chibnall, I know you totally listen to this amazing podcast.
Yes.
You totally should.
Feel free to borrow my idea for just scooping them up from Beryllium for the 60th.
There you go.
I won't tell anyone.
Exactly.
Listeners.
You got just over 3 years left to plan that, so jump on that. With the way the production schedule's going, you might need to start planning right now for that.
And didn't you love seeing this in his mind? He's thinking
it's just like a quick jump. Flip.
Yeah.
Just a day.
Yeah.
Superintendent's
Oh,
going to be
this character's name is
pissed.
Help. Thank you, auto captions. Though I do wonder how he explained to various people how he got this highly valuable diamond to get the money to build this restaurant.
Well, he probably knows some unsavory characters of his own and probably fenced it.
Yeah.
I would guess.
Though, it occurs to me now, what kind of food do they serve at this restaurant on Beryllium? Is it
vegan?
alien? Well, I was going to say some civilization we haven't heard of. Pad Thai, Italian.
Spoilers, it's quarter pounders. No. Big Macs.
And he does say, right, that it's a reward, so it isn't like he fences the diamond.
Restaurant.
Yeah.
It's the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Yes, I thought of that, Charles, the first time I watched this. Absolutely.
She just needs some tannin, tea.
Yeah.
Boost those tannin levels. Now, this is how you make a reservation, guys. Trust me. Like 4 years' time, not a problem. Come back 4 years later.
Yeah.
Helps being a time traveler.
Yep.
Yes. And notice how different she looks.
Yep. Better be a damn good table after a 4-year wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you don't suppose the doctor rebuilt his body like he did Nardole's after all this?
You would think he would, just so he can fit through doors better.
Yeah.
It's like, sucks to be you, Ramona, but because you never come back again. You're stuck in that thing.
Yes.
Down girl.
Yep. Oh, look, he got a haircut and is wearing his best suit.
This little bit when she opens the box and gets the screwdriver.
Right.
The score turns to a little motif from Silence in the Library.
Yep. And we all know that sonic screwdriver is a little extra special, don't we?
Scanning her brain.
Yep. Got to be able to save her.
Yes. And
I love the look of this. It's a great set.
yes.
The Singing Towers.
I'm kind of glad that they waited as long as they do to do the story where they see the Singing Towers, because I don't know if technology would have been able to make them look this beautiful during the Matt Smith era.
And
Yep. It was worth it, yeah.
They kill the scene.
Yeah.
I am actually starting to tear up a little bit right now, right? Just knowing what's coming.
Onion chopping ninjas. They're sneaky.
Yes.
This whole sequence is magical.
No, I kind of consider this the actual point where their marriage begins, in my view.
Yep.
I mean, I know they eloped, but in the wedding of River Song, but when they're really invested in one another, I think, here.
Well, think about it. The doctor who is all about traveling, wandering.
Yeah.
He makes this 24-year commitment to be with her. Which, granted, he's a Time Lord. That's probably like, a Thursday to him. But
Yeah.
still, that's really good for him.
And he says, gosh,
Yeah,
she's just...
See, Matt's a great actor, but I just think that Capaldi has because of his older age, I think he has the maturity to really make this, more powerful, I think.
Call back to the last Christmas special. Every
Yep.
Christmas, last Christmas.
Yeah. And I do love her line here because in reality, that is what he does to save her in that virtual reality, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know that. And she can't know that.
Right.
This is probably their most adult conversation they've had.
Yes. Yes.
When they're not being chased or, fighting off monsters or whatever.
And I love that when he asks about the tower, she's looking at him and he says, I love them.
Don't expect a monolith to love you back.
That needs to be my screensaver.
Yeah.
Well, on my old laptop, my background was the library with the Doctor and Donna looking on with the screwdriver.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
I love how they're not looking at
Yes.
each other and just...
Listening to the singing towers.
Yeah, when you need it, there is a song.
I'm glad they brought this back for this little musical bit back for the his last episode.
Right. How long is a night on Beryllium? Knowing smile.
Oh,
24 years?
I hate you.
Tissue boxes! Get to the tissue boxes!
Oh,
No, you don't.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
There is just...
See, that's magic right there.
There is magic right
and
there.
they even get the fairy tale ending. They both live
Yeah.
happily ever after. Oh, wait, no, it's happily. And then just the word happily.
Thanos snapped happily.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. Yes.
And that's our episode, everybody.
Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this. It's been too long since I watched this.
Dry your eyes.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Take
Charles.
a moment.
I do.
Take a moment. It's okay.
Yeah, this is just, and that's why, as I said,
And that's probably why it's my favorite Christmas special of Capaldi's era. Yeah,
absolutely. And as I said, my friend who was not a Capaldi fan, this made her a fan. She said, okay, after seeing them together,
right,
he is the Doctor. That convinced her. And, and she went back and watched the rest of the episodes and enjoyed them. But the chemistry of those two actors are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, they're two experienced actors, and they, they really sold that scene. And like I said, Matt and Alex Kingston had great chemistry, but I think Capaldi, they just had a different chemistry, and it worked. And
And
it worked. It worked for this particular type of story.
and I love the madcap farce, like then with this romantic kind of bittersweet ending.
Yeah.
Is the two? It is, bittersweet chocolate. I mean, it is,
Right.
and it is a wonderful combination of that. And I think this is. There's often we can talk about Stephen Moffat being too timey-wimey and being too clever for himself, but this was a really well-written episode. And if that is the last we see River, it is a wonderful way to kind of bookend, even though, you know where you're going, you still seeing how they get there is just beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, with Rivers, having that reversed timeline compared to the Doctor, them always being
Yes.
at opposite ends of the temporal vortex, so to speak.
Yeah.
That where, his meeting her was her last story and vice versa.
Yeah.
That, interestingly, it's I find it fascinating that the last River Song story we get on Doctor Who, the TV show, is the next to last story in River's life. Like we started with the last, and then we ended with the next to last.
Very timey-wimey, time loopish.
Yeah.
Yes, very well done.
So it almost feels like it should have been because they meet really for the first time in Let's Kill Hitler, presumably.
Yes.
So it almost feels like that should have been her last story, but this one is a much more powerful story.
Yes, it is.
I heard it said that some people effectively consider Silence in the Library as the pilot for Stephen Moffat's version of Doctor Who, and I'm glad we got series 10 and all, but it is, you could consider this really the beginning of the end for him particularly, because this was the oldest plot thread he seeded.
Yeah.
Well said. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of these days, well, at least I've got a plan of when we're going to be talking Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead. I haven't forgot about it. I know we haven't covered it yet, but I'm saving it for a very special occasion.
That's a tease.
That's
very
a tease
good.
right there.
Very good.
So that's
Charles.
my own little bit of timey-wimey going on.
Yes, absolutely.
So stay tuned.
We'll just wait a good 7 years, like we did with Stephen Moffat.
Yeah, well, hopefully it won't take 7 years, but
yes,
it may take a little while, but not that. It won't be that long, I promise. All right, so what's everybody's ratings for this one? Hannah, do you have a rating for this one?
I give it 10 out of 10 angry decapitated monarch heads.
Nice. How about you, Jesse?
I give it 10 out of 10 new suits.
Ooh, very good. Well, I guess, I don't want to be the downer, especially this close to Christmas. Santa might get mad at me. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and give this one 10 out of 10 as well. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 Singing Towers.
Very nice.
All right. So it's a unanimous. This is a home run from everybody. So if you don't like this special, what's wrong with you?
Yes.
I guess. No, you got 3 10s from all of us. All right. So listener feedback. We actually do have some listener feedback before we wrap things up. And we had, let me pull up the Gmail.
I just did the same thing.
Yep. So we
do
had,
you want me to start?
Well, first, so I just want to say that we have David K. Proctor writing again, and also Holly Mack writing in about the Husbands of River Song. So it was great to have both of them writing in once again. So take your pick, Jesse. Go ahead. And I'll take the other one.
I'll do Holly.
Okay. Surprise.
Hey, y'all. I have to admit, that this is one of my favorite Christmas specials. It's great to see River Song back interacting with Peter Capaldi's Doctor. I really love the Doctor actually being able to have his go at the bigger on the inside reaction, and he nails it. Plus the Doctor dropping so many hints to River that he is the Doctor that she didn't realize it until his "Hello, sweetie" is a nice touch. Poor Nardole in this one, but at least we know he makes it out. The ending to this one is the perfect touch to tie up River's timeline with the Doctor, but it's still nice to know, thanks to Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey, we can get more adventures of River with the Doctor. I'll wrap it up here. Happy holidays to all. Holly from Wisconsin. Thank you, Holly.
Yeah,
Great
thanks, Holly.
email as always.
And happy holidays to you, Holly.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yep. So we always love hearing from Holly, and Holly was just so wonderful this year. So I want to give her a special thanks because she wrote in so many times. She participated as a special guest companion, and we always had a lot of fun talking with her. And looks like we'll be doing that once again in the new year. I'll just leave it right there for now. All right. So also writing in, David K. Proctor, as we call him Dave, of course, here on Next Stop Everywhere. Dave writes in about the Husbands of River Song, says, this is a pretty good wrap-up to the River Song story arc. Perhaps one day we will learn how she got on the expedition to the library planet. Ooh, like a prequel.
Yes.
To that could be interesting. It introduces Nardole, which grew on me as a companion. I like how River doesn't see the Doctor as the Doctor until they are neck deep in it. Then they become unstoppable because they are a team. Yeah, it's such a great reveal. My favorite part is when the Doctor gets to do it's bigger on the inside bit. Yeah, that was fun. And Capaldi just played that for everything it's worth.
Yeah,
he really
did. Yes.
He really had fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a solid story. This is a solid story and hits on all points and ties 3 modern Doctor Who story arcs together. And of course, it's out of order. Well, yeah, Stephen Moffat. Enough said, right?
Yes.
I give it 9.999999999 repeating until infinity. Sonic Trowels. Since I once said I reserved 10 for regenerations. So that's his excuse. Okay.
I like how he got around that. That's nice.
He puts that little caveat there. Interesting. Yes. All right. We'll let it slide, Dave, because you're also been so good to our show this year. Mm-hmm. Dave finishes up. One day I may try to watch the River episodes in her order. That would be fun. I've yet to do that. I really should do that. Have you done that, Hannah?
I have not. I mean, well, my first episode of Doctor Who, and also first River episode I saw was Let's Kill Hitler, and I watched the show in general out of order for a time, so maybe I've done it and haven't even realized that.
That's funny. So Dave says, thank you, David K. Proctor. P.S. I have really been a true fan of Alex Kingston since ER.
So have I.
Good
point.
Dave's showing his old school street cred when it comes to Alex Kingston. Interesting.
Absolutely.
I watched an episode of that with her in it, and I'm like, oh my God, she's a baby in this.
Right. So happy holidays to you as well, Dave, and I hope you and your family are doing well and safe and staying away from the coronavirus, because we love you. You know, we want to keep you listening, and we want to keep hearing from you in 2021. So keep writing in. You're doing great, and hopefully we get you back on the show soon as well. All right. If you want to be like Holly and you want to be like Dave, and please do, write to us at nextstopeverywheresmg@gmail.com. That's nextstopeverywheresmg@gmail.com for Southgate Media Group, of course. Or you can find us on Twitter at nextstopsmg on Twitter, Facebook, Next Stop Everywhere, the Doctor Who podcast, or Instagram at Next Stop Everywhere podcast. And Hannah, where can they reach you in the meantime?
Well, Charles, since you were so kind enough to ask, I am on Facebook, I'm on Instagram at My Lady of Sass, and I am on Twitter at HT Skorapa. That is HTEASKORAPA.
There you go. And please follow her on Twitter because she is fantastic at the live tweeting. during the Doctor Who rewatches, the lockdowns and all that. Highly recommended. So
I absolutely agree.
And just about everything she does is wonderful, of course. So everybody, please follow Hannah because she's so wonderful, comes on our show, is very supportive of our show, and we want to give her all the Twitter love in return. Right, guys? All
Absolutely.
Right. Or Facebook, for that matter. So, Jesse, how about you? Where can they reach you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Jesse Jackson DFW, Facebook, Instagram. You can hear me with Charles over the past couple of weeks. We've been flashing on the Phantom Zone podcast. We have gone back and discussed 2 different Flash pilots, and we had a blast with our brother in podcasting, Nick.
Yes.
So please check out the Phantom Zone podcast. You can hear me every other week on How Many, the podcast where a bunch of idiots get together and discuss pop culture topics. And then, of course, as always, if you love music and are passionate about it, hear me on Set Listing Bruce, where we talk to people from around the world all about their love of music, mostly Bruce Springsteen, but certainly other musicians. Charles, how about you?
Well, of course, me. You can find me at Charles Skaggs on Twitter, at Charles Skaggs on Instagram. Would love it if you liked and followed me there. Or Facebook, Charles Skaggs in Hilliard, Ohio. Or my blog of geeky things.
Damn good coffee. And hot.
Damn good coffee and hot, where I talk about all the stuff we talk about here on Next Stop Everywhere. Doctor Who, Torchwood, Sarah Jane Adventures, Big Finish Audios, and more. All kinds of comic book sci-fi news of my other podcasts they do for Southgate Media Group, including, well, hey, the aforementioned The Phantom Zone podcast, where we just celebrated our 200th episode. And like Jesse said, we talked the 2014 Flash pilot that featured Grant Gustin as the Flash, and then our previous episode, 199, that was when we talked the 1990 Flash pilot with John Wesley Shipp and had some fun comparing and contrasting the two. And going forward, starting with episode 201, we're going to be talking WandaVision, which is, the upcoming very first Marvel Cinematic Universe TV series on Disney+. And I hope everybody checks that out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. And then Titan Talk, the Titans podcast, where, like Jesse said, we're kind of on hiatus right now. We got Titans and Doom Patrol waiting for season 3 to emerge on HBO Max, waiting very patiently for that. But in the meantime, you can, if you haven't seen those shows, check them out on HBO Max and then listen to our podcast, and we definitely appreciate that. And then Ghostwood, the Twin Peaks podcast, they do with Zan Sprouse, whom we've all heard here on Next Stop Everywhere, who is obviously one of my favorite people. And we have a lot of fun talking Twin Peaks, David Lynch films, and more. And we'll be starting the new year, January, when we talk the 1984 version of Dune. We got tired of waiting for Denis Villeneuve's Dune version to finally arrive. We didn't get it in the theaters and still waiting for it to appear on HBO Max. So we got tired and we were like, okay, fine, we're going to do our own Dune, and we're going all the way back to 1984 to discuss David Lynch's version of the film. And then lastly, but certainly not leastly, Drunk Cinema, where Zan and I, this is kind of our side gig where this is the adult section of the bookstore where we kick back, we have some adult beverages, adult conversation, and just have a lot of fun watching movies. We've talked Batman, the 1989 version. We've talked Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and our most recent episode, episode 3, where we discussed the ultimate Christmas movie, Die Hard, which is a lot of fun, and I hope everybody checks out that episode, which is available now. And then coming up in January, we're going to be discussing, for episode 4, The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, the 1984 sci-fi cult classic with Peter Weller, who was in RoboCop, and John Lithgow as Dr. Emilio Lizardo. And Jeff Goldblum's in it, and Clancy Brown, and lots of other great people. And I think everybody will enjoy that one as well. Hope you check it out. And, if nothing else, it's great to hear Zan and I having a lot of fun talking about
Absolutely. I totally agree.
All right. So, everybody, thank you so much for listening. I want to give a special shout out to all our listeners who have supported us this past year. We know it's been a really rough year for just about everybody. And if we've done anything to help you forget about it for like an hour and a half, and just kind of immerse yourself in some Doctor Who or Torchwood or what have you, and forget about your troubles for a little bit, and then somehow hopefully entertain you and make you laugh in the process, well then we did our jobs as far as I'm concerned. And I hope we get to keep doing that. It looks like we will. So you're not getting rid of us that easily. Hannah, I want to thank you. You were as delightful as always. And I really appreciate you coming back for this second commentary episode. I hope you had fun.
Oh, I did. Thank you once again for having me on.
Well, you're always welcome. Now we just got to figure out what our next commentary episode is, right?
Yes.
All right. Jesse, any final thoughts before we sign off?
I just want to thank Hannah again, and I want to echo your thoughts to our listeners. Thank you so much for listening to us, and it means the world to us that you guys have taken us into, you're part of your entertainment life and listening to it. We love the feedback we get, and so thank you so much for that. And, we want to say we hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, and certainly remain safe and do what needs to be done, but find the joy in as we reach the end of the year, and we're all looking forward to 2021.
Yep, exactly. Jesse and I have had a lot of fun talking Doctor Who these past 6 years, and look forward to the next 6. So
absolutely. Stay
tuned, everybody. All right, so next time on Next Stop Everywhere, episode 213. Well, we did the 11th Doctor for 211, the 12th Doctor for episode 212, so that means the 13th Doctor for episode 213, as at long last, we're finally going to be talking Revolution of the Daleks. That'll be our first episode of January 2021. Obviously, last time we left the Doctor, she was in a bit of a spot of bother. She was locked away in space jail, and hopefully we'll make her escape, because it sounds like Earth needs her help and only has Captain Jack coming between the Daleks and the takeover of Earth. And this is going to be a big episode. We're going to say goodbye to 2 companions. We're going to say goodbye to Graham and Ryan in this one. So no big secret there. Even the BBC has already confirmed this. So I don't think spoiling anything. So it's going to be a big transition. Maybe we'll get the introduction of the new companion, or will it just be the Doctor and Yaz traveling from this point on? We don't know yet. Anybody have any thoughts real quick?
I mean, unless they're very good at hiding stuff and all, from what I've seen so far, I'm getting the inclination that it might just be Yaz for the next series, but I am uber excited. I was practically dancing in my seat when I saw that teaser they posted on Doctor Who Day of Jack saying that he missed the sound of the TARDIS.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. So obviously it's going to be a lot of fun talking the return of John Barrowman as Captain Jack Harkness. And I don't think anybody has any reason not to come back, right?
Exactly.
It's going to be a fun episode. It's going to be just Jesse and me, I'm guessing, for that one, because Jesse likes to have just the 2 of us, the partners in time, the original partners in time, doing the reviews of the new episodes. So what better way than to continue that tradition, right?
Every once in a while, you just got to go old school, Charles.
All right. So everybody, thank you so much for listening. Once again, come back. 2021, we're going to start a brand new year. Got a brand new Doctor Who episode, and we've got a lot of other episodes already in the works. Like, I'm already starting to book stuff for May, if you can believe it. So just want to give everybody a heads up while I'm thinking about it, that I've posted the latest list of what's still available to talk about on Next Stop Everywhere if you're interested in joining us as a special guest companion. Already some people are claiming stuff. They jumped right on it like a live grenade, and I've already started requesting stuff, so you better hurry. Like I said, we're already starting to book stuff in the May, if you can believe it.
Yeah, and I got to jump in, Charles.
Yeah.
We have a lot of our favorite guest companions have raised the hand and want to return, which is just great. But we'd love some new voices.
Yes, we would.
So yeah, if you've thought about doing it in the past, just reach out to us. It's fun. Yep. It's easy.
And I believe a certain Hannah Skorapa has already requested some episodes.
Yay!
And that have been confirmed. So yeah, we'll just have to see how the final schedule shakes out. So I want to give everybody a chance to get some more in. If you're interested, I posted the list on Twitter and Facebook if you want to check out our Facebook account or our official Next Stop Everywhere Twitter account. And give it a look. And if you're interested, drop us a line. Email us and let us know. All right. So everybody, thanks again, and we'll see you next time for episode 213, Revolution of the Daleks, right here on Next Stop Everywhere, the Doctor Who podcast. Happy New Year, everybody.
Goodbye.
Happy holidays. Goodbye.